This buy-to-let studio flat in Sheffield is in a good location. However, on the inside, it leaves a lot to be desired. There's a big, beautiful window, but mustard walls and red carpet are not a good choice. The furniture is awkward, and overall it does not feel a pleasant place to live. Let's have a look at the floor plan. It says here that the flat is 28 square metres, but looking at the pictures, I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. I think it's a bit more like this, 26 square metres. The floor plan also failed to show this corner in the kitchen where I think the pipework goes, meaning the kitchen's a bit more of an awkward shape. As you can see here, the office and the bathroom right by the door does not create a relaxing place to work. The bathroom is a bit outdated but serviceable. However, having the bed tucked around this corner is not acceptable. You're never going to be able to properly relax and sleep if you're thinking about working and washing up. Having one lonely armchair and one lonely dining chair along with a tiny kitchen does not make this feel like a welcoming space. What can be done to fix it? If I was the tenant here, the first thing I'd do is get rid of this black unit and instead choose one of these. These clip-on bedside tables are an excellent option in a compact space. This particular one's from Amazon, but there are a multitude of options on the market. In a small space, it's important to avoid dark, bulky furniture as much as possible. If I lived here, the next thing I'd do is hang some curtains around the bed. No one wants to be bombarded with energy from the kitchen and office when you're trying to sleep. Hanging curtains round the bed means you can shut yourself away from the world when you're trying to sleep, and you don't need to hang curtains on the window, meaning you can make the most of the views. Having one dining chair and one armchair make this room feel like it's meant for one person. One person with no friends and no chance of getting any friends. We have got to fix that. We can move the TV a little to the right, and that gives us space either side of it, so we can have two armchairs. The tenant can get a matching chair and maybe even a matching cushion, so it all feels cohesive. Having this awkward triangle dining table awkwardly face the TV is very awkward. Let's turn it round so that the long side is against the window. Then we can have two dining chairs that both get a lovely view of each other and a view out the beautiful picture window. This is much better. Now your crush won't have to make an excuse when you invite her round to your flat for a drink. Having a coffee table makes the space more usable, so that the tenant and their guest have somewhere to put their coffee. A round one is best in a small space, as it leaves more room for the flow of people around it. You might even be able to get one with some storage underneath, and it should be easy to find one that matches the colour of the MDF on the office and the kitchen. Bringing in an oval rug will hug this space, making it feel cosy and separating it from the rest of the apartment, so it's really relaxing and peaceful. Besides, the more of that hideous burgundy carpet we cover, the better. Light neutrals are the easiest option when adding to an already brightly coloured space. Now that the tenant has taken matters into their own hands to make their space more livable, let's have a look at how it flows. We're still awkwardly greeted by the desk, but at least now the bed is not bombarded with energy from the door and the kitchen. Having our seating in pairs makes the biggest difference. Now our tenant can have a friend over, or maybe even have a romantic candlelit dinner, but I'm sure there's one more thing we can do to make it even better. While some people may love mustard yellow, I'm sure it's not everyone's cup of tea, and if the tenant asks nicely, perhaps the landlord will let them paint it to something more neutral to create more of a calm feel in the apartment. So that's what the tenant could do, but if the landlord intervened, we can make it even better. I believe this flat to be primarily used for student accommodation. If this is the case, studying is the most important thing, so we have to put the desk in the best position. Now it has more access to natural light, and although we have to shrink the desk a little bit to fit it in, we can compensate for this in other ways. First, we're going to have to shrink the wardrobe, but don't worry, we'll provide plenty of storage later on. Next, I got distracted by the kitchen. I could not see it sitting there looking like that for much longer. I know it's opposite the bathroom now, and that's not ideal, but sometimes in small spaces we have to make compromises. The basic layout of the kitchen is going to remain the same, but now we have room for an apartment-sized refrigerator with a storage cabinet above it. And we've got a little bit more kitchen workspace, which means a little bit more storage. Can't complain about that. Now it's time to add more storage to the rest of the apartment. We'll go back to the desk area where we now have room for a bookshelf between the desk and the window. This will have to be quite low profile so it doesn't block any light, but still offers a space for reading material or personal possessions, such as action figurines or collectible stickers. Of course, we'll make it the same colour as the desk so it blends seamlessly. Now we can bring the desk and the wardrobe out so that they match the width of the bookshelf, making this corner indent unnoticeable and giving extra space for storage. As a bonus, instead of a single floating shelf above the desk that was there previously, we can now have a full-sized floor-to-ceiling bookshelf and still have plenty of workspace on the desk. If I was the landlord, I'd make these adjustable shelves, so the tenant could customise them to their own purposes. For example, they could be made bigger to put extra monitors or smaller to contain small baskets of knickknacks. Now that the kitchen occupies more space and the wardrobe is no longer by the front door, we're going to cut out a small piece of kitchen countertop in order to put a wardrobe. This is where outdoor wear such as coats, shoes and bags can go when entering the flat. It can be coloured to match the rest of the kitchen so it blends seamlessly. We mustn't forget upper kitchen cabinets for that all-important storage in a studio flat. The kitchen just needs a few finishing touches and then we're ready to do something about that horrible burgundy carpet. I would recommend for a landlord laying a hard-wearing laminate flooring that is the same throughout the property. It's easy to clean and can be warmed up with area rugs. Now that's finally sorted, we can focus on this bed. The best way to fix a problem bed is with a platform. This one has a bedside table on each side which encourages love, and the massive bonus to having a raised bed is that there's plenty of room for storage beneath and around it. A small ladder should be easy for a sprightly student to climb, and it can be coloured to match the bed so it blends in well. This one move will make a massive difference to how private and peaceful the bed feels within this studio flat. We can see that now. As we come in through the door, we're now greeted by the kitchen so we can put our groceries away and a cupboard for our hats, shoes and coats. On the right is still the bathroom which can be modernised but also can be left how it is. It's not too problematic. Now the bed is raised, it is not confronted with energies from all angles and feels superior to the rest of the room. The shelves at the front of it can be used to store clothes and underneath there's storage for large items like suitcases. We still have 2 of each type of seating so that the tenant can have a romantic guest or maybe even a small party. And now the desk is in a prime position with plenty of extra storage around it. As far as I can see, there's only one thing I've missed. By adding a curtain under the bed, the tenant is not confronted with all of the stuff they've put in long-term storage. We'll keep these curtains pulled shut and we can even make them buttercup yellow to match the tenant's lovely chair cushions. Now when we're sitting in our chairs, we'll feel much more relaxed. Let's have a look at what a difference these changes have made. Hi, I'm Faith. I'm making these videos to get more practice designing interiors, so please let me know what you think of my changes and if you have any projects you'd like me to do in the future. Thanks for watching and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!